Narcissists are going to employ abuse tactics to try to control you. And I am going to show you how to spot one today so that you know what a narcissist is and how they try to control you. They like to maintain dominance over their victims. And before we go any further, I don't ever want you to refer to yourself as a victim of narcissistic abuse ever again. You are a survivor that is still here. If you're watching this video, you're a survivor. Some of the very common abuse tactics that are used by narcissists are gaslighting. Gaslighting is where the narcissist gets you to doubt your own reality so you lose complete trust within yourself. This is where you're questioning your own thoughts, feelings, and reality. Narcissists will try to distort the truth. They will invalidate your experiences and make you doubt your perceptions to undermine your confidence and assert control. I remember the very first time when I realized I was being gaslit by the narcissist. I sat there thinking, I must be crazy. And you are probably feeling that way too. The very first time that I had this awakening and this realization in myself was when I landed on a video just like this and someone taught me about gaslighting. So if you're sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, this is mind blowing, I'm so glad that you're here because awareness is the first step. Some of the other things that you'll see a narcissist do is blame shifting. The narcissist often refuses to take responsibility. How many times have you seen a narcissist apologize? Whether it's your parent, a child, a coworker, a friend, it's likely that they've never apologized to you, even when they blatantly could have apologized. Unless you're dealing with a covert narcissist that can apologize in front of a big group of people and they can look better for apologizing. Or if they need to use an apology as manipulation over you to get you back in to feed their supply, which you are for them. They are going to make you feel guilty or responsible for how they behave. So the narcissist will say things to you like, well, I only acted that way because you're doing what you did. I only acted that way because you were talking too much at the event. I had to say that to you because you were embarrassing yourself. They might say something to you like, you're just so hard to love. Everyone around us finds it so hard to love you. And if you say, who said that? They'll say, well, people say that to me all the time, but I just love you so much, so I'm willing to put up with how hard you are to love. They love to manipulate and exploit. So narcissists are really skilled at manipulating others to serve their own needs. They're going to exploit your vulnerabilities. And this is the biggest kicker of being with a narcissist is that they, in the love bombing phase, in the very beginning, in the romance where you are just, they're mirroring you. This is what a narcissist does. They mirror your best qualities and they get you to open up to them so that you literally think that you are falling in love with yourself, but not in a narcissistic way. They make you feel like you've met your soulmate, even if it's a friendship, a parent, or someone that you're in a romantic relationship. All narcissists do this in all varying forms. And so when they do this, they will use this information that you're giving them in the beginning against you later. The longer you're in the relationship with a narcissist, the more they're going to try and suck you back in and get you to tell them really personal and vulnerable things. And then later on, they're going to use those very things against you to make you feel shame and embarrassment that then hooks you into them longer. They do this because they want to gain control over you and manipulate situations in their favor. The other thing that they love to do is to isolate. So the narcissist is going to isolate their victims from their friends and family and support networks to increase their dependence and control over you. You'll see this a lot in families where if you have a narcissistic parent, they're going to isolate the children and the family from each other, even though they're all living in the same home. So you might see the narcissist tell each child little dings that other children have said to the parent they'll tell it to that child, that one child. So let's say child A says to them, oh, so-and-so hurt my feelings today because they didn't want to go to lunch with me. And then that parent will wait for an opportunity to tell child B, oh, well, so-and-so said that, they don't like spending time with you when you act this way. They love to place doubt in the mind of someone so that it puts a wedge in between A and B people, so that then naturally they can't bond toward each other and they feel like each other are the enemy. You'll see this in work relationships as well. It doesn't happen just in families. It happens in friendships. It happens in work, coworker relationships. And it is so incredibly damaging because the narcissist knows what they're doing. They're isolating people that are in the same room on purpose so that they don't feel safe with one another, and then the narcissist has control over you. It's this isolation that helps them to discourage or sabotage your relationships with anyone other than them, making you feel isolated and reliant solely on them for validation and support. It's how they gain control over you. They love to emotionally abuse. So this can take many different forms. There can be verbal attacks, insults, criticism, emotional manipulation. The narcissist will use demeaning language. They might say something to you, if it's like a parent, they might say something to you like tell you have thunder thighs or something like that, to even though you have like a body type that is completely within a range that would not be described in that way. They'll tell you that to make you have body dysmorphia. They might start picking apart your body, your features, in order to just break you down. They love to belittle your achievements. Like, let's say that you went to a state university instead of a more prestigious college. They're going to remind you of that your entire life. They're going to always play into that and belittle you for that. In a work environment, they might always talk about the one person that you did really poorly in front of, or maybe you led something in a way that didn't help you get a job or get a promotion or whatever. They're always going to hang that over your head. They love to erode your self-esteem. I can't express that further. They love to erode your self-esteem and maintain power over you by doing that. Triangulation is something that I keep talking about, even though I haven't used that word yet. And it's where the narcissist involves a third party, like an ex-partner or a friend or a family member, to manipulate or control the dynamics of the relationship. They might compare you unfavorably to others. They might say, like, let's say that you have a stepfather, and the stepfather is always telling the stepson how much he is like his father, and maybe that family unit in the blended family is always speaking negatively about the biological father. And so the narcissist will tell the child, you're just like your father. So controlling, so emotional, so sensitive. And the reason why they do that is because they want to break you down. They want to diminish your self-esteem. They might create jealousy or competition amongst siblings or other coworkers. They might use triangulation to undermine your confidence and loyalty. One of the other things that they do is intermittent reinforcement. Narcissists can alternate between periods of love and affection. That's called love bombing in the very beginning, and periods of neglect and abuse. And when a narcissist is good, they are so good. They're like a drug that your body craves. And that's because of the trauma bond, where your brain literally mistakes dopamine for oxytocin. And it's this circular thing that happens where in the beginning, when they're love bombing and they're mirroring you, your brain is releasing oxytocin. You're falling in love. It's the best human emotion on earth. And then they start to abuse you. And all of a sudden you sense this. And so you kind of pull away because you know what abuse is. You can feel it. It doesn't feel good. And then your body starts releasing adrenaline and cortisol, fight or flight, fawn, freeze, to get you out of this abuse. And the narcissist feels this because humans are experts at reading other humans. And so then they start to breadcrumb you and they will make you feel a little bit better. And so they'll throw you a little gift, a little present, maybe some flowers, and I'm sorry, even though they don't mean it, just to try and reel you back in. And this is something that they do so that you believe that they are that good person that they were, that you fell in love with in the beginning, and your brain is going to release dopamine instead of oxytocin, and that completes the trauma bond. It's what locks you in. It's what makes you seek after their approval and their validation over and over and over again. It makes it so that it creates this cycle of high highs and low lows that keep you emotionally invested, just hoping that you're going to get approval and validation from them again one day like you did in the beginning. And so it's so damaging. And I know what it's like because I was in your shoes when I realized that my self-worth had been completely destroyed, that everything within me, I felt like I was nothing. And so if you are someone that you're appreciating what I'm teaching you here and it's giving you value, I hope you'll hit that subscribe button so that I can teach more of this to you as time goes on, so that I can help you, because my heart just breaks for people that don't find this and they just think that they're worthless, that they're not lovable, that they're not important, that they're not enough because of the after effects of narcissistic abuse. So I just want you to know I'm here for you and you're not alone. Financial abuse is one of the things that you also might be experiencing. Narcissists might control your finances. They might use money as a tool for manipulation and control. They may even withhold money from you. They might monitor your spending. You see this a lot in marriages where there's a narcissist, where they'll say things to you like, oh, I don't want to stress you out, so I'll just handle paying for all the bills. I don't want to put your name on the mortgage because I don't want it to be a burden to you. That's actually not normal. And it should be a partnership where you have access to all the money if you wanted to, where your name is on the mortgage, where you can have your own credit cards with your own name on it, that only you have access to. These are the types of ways that a narcissist is going to financially abuse. And they do this. They'll also use fear tactics and silent treatment to coerce you into compliance, making you feel powerless and trapped in the relationship, like you could never leave. That's their goal. That's what they're trying to do. They want you to be so dependent on them that you think that there's no other way that you could ever survive without them. But let me just tell you this, there's a lot of ways to make money. And if you're in a relationship, maybe a work relationship where you feel like you have to stay because it's your job, there's so many ways to make money. And I just want to encourage you that you don't have to stay in an abusive relationship. And there are resources that we can provide for you here that can help you. In fact, I even created a 21 course mini series for you that you can click the link in the comments here. If it's something that you need a little bit more, you need a little bit more than what you're getting here in these videos. Maybe you would like to have a workbook. Maybe you want to dive deeper into nervous system healing. Click the link in the comments and you can join Trauma into Triumph. It's just 21 mini courses that I turned the one method that got me my life back after narcissistic abuse, that if you're looking for a little bit more, I know it can help you too. One of the very last things that I'll tell you is what a narcissist does, called hoovering. This is a word that you maybe haven't heard of before, and it's after a period of abuse or discard, where the narcissist might attempt to reel you back into the relationship through hoovering tactics. This can be a fake apology. It could be, I promise I'll change. I promise I won't be the way I was before. Or even love bombing, like giving you breadcrumbs, gifts, lavish vacations. Maybe they'll even agree to have a baby with you if they've always said no to that before. That's also a way that a narcissist will trap you, is they want to have kids with you so that you're stuck with them forever. They want to lure you back into their grasp. It's so important to recognize these abuse tactics and seek support if you're in an abusive relationship with a narcissist. Establishing boundaries, seeking therapy or trauma coaching, and reaching out to trusted trusted friends or support groups that can help you navigate the complexities of narcissistic abuse so you can prioritize your own well-being and feel good again. I hope that when you watch these videos that I've made for you, that it helps give you hope that you're gonna find peace one day too. Because I remember feeling so hopeless when I first learned that I was with a narcissist. And so I just want you to know that it's gonna get better. You're having awareness right now, having compassion for yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing about you that deserves this kind of abuse. And I hope that I can help you be curious about how you can get your life back so that this can be a place where you feel uplifted and supported, where you may have never felt that before. So giving you a big virtual hug and hope you have an amazing day. Bye now.